rampant. All right, join the conversation anytime, by the way. Join us, follow us on Facebook, please. All right, let's get back to taxing the rich, shall we? It's the Democrats' only answer to solve the economic crisis. One problem, it will not work. CME trader Larry Schober showed up live in New York for this one. He is fired up. Should we tax millionaires and billionaires as Warren Buffett says we should?
Absolutely not. And you know, Warren Buffett's not saying let's tax the rich. Let's make no mistake about it. He is throwing the middle class under the bus. Obama and Buffett together are singing a duet right now where they're going to tax everybody making more than $250,000 a year. Right now you have 10% of the population paying 70% of the taxes right now. How much more do we need to take? And it's not about the millionaires and billionaires per se.
Let's suppose that there was a special tax levied on those people who make more than $1 million, and then another special tax on those who make more than $10 million, just in those very, very high income brackets. If that tax were imposed, what impact on the markets?
The markets wouldn't like that at all, because once again, you're taking wealth out of people's pockets and redistributing it somewhere else. It's coveting. It's nothing less than coveting. The government is deciding where they should take money. They'll take it from you and give it to her, take it from you, give it to somewhere else. It never works. It never does.
Given our fiscal problems and the fact that we need to balance our budget, would you support the kind of plans that common sense Democrats like me and a lot of Republicans do to lower rates, get rid of loopholes, raise some revenue that way, repatriate corporate profits so that we have a rational tax plan like we had in 1986, or began to have in 86 before the special interest got involved?
Yeah, I can't agree with that more. I mean, good grief. Let's make a flat tax of 25%. Get rid of all the deductions slowly but surely.
State and local taxes
all the
too?
dodges, yes. Loopholes, everything out the window. Let's just make it fair. Let's get America working together. It just makes no sense that everybody's tax forms are so complicated.
One of the things I think people have the biggest problem with here is a guy like Warren Buffett, with all due respect to him, and he is a brilliant investor, is that he's a guy who's made just a boatload of money in his lifetime. He's sitting on a pile of cash. For him to make a blanket statement about what others should be paying in taxes, I think is just unfair and irresponsible, quite frankly.
Okay, but now wait a second. All of us around this table suggest that a special tax on millionaires and billionaires is not a good idea.
Certainly not now, Stuart, in the midst of a crippling downturn.
But our opinion is probably not shared by most of our fellow Americans, is it? I think, I got to say, I think that taxing millionaires and billionaires is a popular political device. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Doesn't make it right.
Yeah, I mean,
I agree, it doesn't make it right, but it is, I think that's a popular political line of attack in America.
Sure, people love to pick on the people that have been the most successful, but on the other hand, we have to realize that they're the people that are creating investment in America. They're the people that will produce jobs in the end. They're the ones that are investing. It makes absolutely no sense to take money away from people.
Stuart, having spent a good deal of my career on this issue with President Clinton, yeah, sure, people want to tax the rich, but they also want to solve problems. And if they're persuaded that there's a broad-based plan involving shared sacrifice, rational tax policy, rational spending policy, they'll sign on to that in a second.
Well, you know, Larry, we dragged you all the way from Chicago, put you out here in New York, so we're going to ask one more area of questioning real fast.
Sure.
You think that the euro is going to collapse, and if it does, what effect on us? Now, you've got 30 seconds. Big subject. What do you think?
I have been so wrong as the euro has been climbing a wall of worries for the past 3 or 4 months. I've been been very bearish on the euro, but I don't think at this point it's going to collapse. I think eventually it will, because the write-downs, Germany and France will continue to write down debt, but at some point they're going to stop, not be able to, and the euro will disband, and I think they will. The peripheral countries just will have to start fledgling along on their own.
But they'll just keep on kicking that can down the road as long as they possibly can. And that means years, doesn't it?
It could be years, yes.
Okay. Hey, Larry Schober, thanks very much for joining us in New York. It's a real pleasure. Come and see us anytime you like, okay? All right.